Celebrate Christmas like a king. In this case, Alveda King, Martin Luther's niece. Holidays at their house were marked with family, with fun, and tons of food. Take a look.
Alveda King is the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the daughter of Reverend A.D. King. Alveda's family carries on the holiday traditions of her grandparents, Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. and Alberta Williams. The Williams King family celebrates by singing around the piano, posing for caricature drawings of the family, and of course, eating food, and more food. Most importantly, it all centers around the gift of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Today, Alveda will share her family's delicious holiday recipes that bring laughter, love, and joy to their holiday table.
And our friend Alveda is here with us now. Welcome. It's great to have you back as we're getting ready to celebrate Christmas. You have a great new cookbook out. We're going to talk about that. But one of the things you say is that in order to do this well with all the food that is a part of the celebration, we need to have the right spices.
That's right. And
the right stuff in our pantries, right?
Absolutely. And you can really actually grow some of it in your home garden or on your deck, the rosemary, the sage, the chives, and things like that.
You've got it all covered. What's Christmas at the King's like? What does that look like?
Well, let me say this first. We have something in common. This is Gigi's Home for the Holidays cookbook, and you're Gigi.
I am Gigi.
And if our friends don't know what that means gorgeous grandma.
I didn't know that before I read Alveda's book, but I went, I'm borrowing that one.
That was good. That's really good. But the way it is at home during the holidays, there's so much that has gone on throughout the whole year. Yes. And we want to remember that we're celebrating the birth of Christ and that we love each other. Yes. And this is about love and reconciliation. And so we talk about the past in the 20th century, the civil rights movement. We talk about today. And because I'm pro-life and I'm considered to be conservative, and some of my family members are not, we get to have real candid discussions. But what we agree is that we will not argue. We will not fight, but we will talk sensibly and happily. Yeah. And we actually do that.
Well, that's the King tradition, being celebrated again.
It is.
Yes, it is. Well, you've brought some other wonderful traditions with you today, and we want to take a look at those. We're going to start with some eggs first. This is something that you serve on Christmas.
During holiday brunch. We always try to work a brunch in during Christmas, and when we do that, eggs are always appropriate. And sometimes, Terry, to be honest, I'm looking for easy, tasty recipes.
Sometimes, Alveda, to be totally honest, I'm always looking for easy.
And so I found shirred eggs or baked eggs. And that way you don't have to whip them or try to make the complicated quiches and all that. That's fun to do, and you can do that. But this particular shirred eggs, it means baked eggs. And you melt your butter. And
you do this in the oven,
I melt this in the oven. It's going to be baked in the oven.
Okay.
And so you add a little cream. Okay. Or half and half, or whatever you prefer there, just a little bit. And when you do that, whoops.
That's okay.
Okay. And so you pour your eggs
on top of the butter and the cream.
Right on top.
Okay.
And you start in a corner and just gently pour them. Okay. You don't want them to break.
You don't want them to break. You want to keep the yolk.
You don't.
And you're doing a dozen of them in this.
This is a dozen. And what will happen if a person wants one egg or two, you'll see once they're done, they'll be able to just scoop in and scoop that yolk out and to scoop that egg out. And I like Himalayan pink sea salt.
I do too.
And we just kind of sprinkle it over to taste. Because, you know, people can always add more.
Yes.
So you don't, eggs with no salt, it's not a good thing. Okay. So you want to try your hand with the chives and get those chives all over there?
I sure do. You just kind of sprinkle them across the top?
That's it.
Love chives. Fresh. Ooh, these are fresh too.
And then I'll give you this one.
Okay.
And I'll put the smoky pepper. I like a smoky paprika because I like a smoked taste to almost everything I make. So just gently, not too much. And I want it to kind of sprinkle and break up.
It's pretty too.
It gives color.
That festive.
And then to taste, you notice that they're in the cookbook. Gigi's Home for the Holidays cookbook, there are measurements. But if you're a shake and pour cook like I am, you do it to taste. You put as much as you want or as little as you want.
You had to really work it.
That's it.
Going into the kitchen and making a list of exact measurements.
You know, that's how Sunday suppers popped up in the cookbook. We have Sunday supper, but I had to have a test kitchen. So every Sunday, I had to practice cooking the same recipe over and over.
Your family probably liked this cookbook.
My kids were so happy because they said, make her write it down. She'll never be able to make that one again. And so that's how the recipes all came into place in the test kitchen at my house on Sunday.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to take this because we're going to put this in our oven, which is heated. Can you open that lower oven door for me?
Sure can.
And we've got one ready to come out. So I'm just going to stick this one up here for right now.
That's going to be very pretty, too. That's going to come out just
look
right.
Look at this.
Boy, doesn't that smell wonderful?
Oops, let me push that in. Don't touch.
Okay, I won't.
Wow, y'all, look at this.
It smells wonderful. It's perfect. Perfect. Absolutely.
This is fresh baked from the oven. This is also the finished product. You've put some sprigs of rosemary. Is it rosemary that's
the
on
fresh
there?
rosemary there, and you can kind of do that when it's done, and it looks very pretty. It's decorative.
Gorgeous.
And it just tastes good, too.
Beautiful. So over here you have something that just looks phenomenal.
Well, this is brunch. So brunch is a combination of breakfast and lunch. And so everybody likes shrimp and grits, but I said, let's do something a little different. And who doesn't love bacon? So I had to garnish it with bacon.
No one I know.
But your grits, you can take your grits, and usually you cook it with boiling water and all that, but I'll put a little creme fraiche or cream cheese in there to make it thicker and more rich, and certainly the salt and pepper and all of that. And then you sear those scallops perfectly, and you garnish with the bacon and the green peas.
So pretty. So it's not shrimp and grits, it's scallops and grits. Delicious looking. Yeah. Okay, let's move over here. This is so pretty. Like, who wouldn't like this on their Christmas table? It's just beautiful, and it's carrot cake.
Homemade carrot cake, and you use, of course, your fresh carrots and your cake batter. I still use the gluten-free flours and the brown sugars and the organic ingredients for mine, and the beautiful cream cheese icing and the nuts on the top. And it's just a very, very beautiful dessert. And as a matter of fact, I did want to mention, and I forgot to say that too, in the cookbook, you can take your phone, and there are apps in there, QR code apps, and you can see if the carrot cake is not in there. There are different desserts in there, different vegetables, different egg dishes, and so you can scan that QR code and see videos of how to do all this.
Okay.
But that is just incredible. It makes a beautiful, festive cake.
Just beautiful.
Yes.
And then, what would the holidays be without wassail, right?
You can make your own recipe with wassail. It's a hot, spiced drink. Apple, pineapple juice, apple cider, and you do that in when it's warm with the cloves in there sometimes, and the nutmeg and the various spices. It's a very warm, comforting holiday cheer drink.
You know, the best part about this is your whole house smells like Christmas when you do this, doesn't it?
Sure does.
I mean, it's so great. These are all amazing ideas for making your holiday as spectacular as the King family's holiday is. Want you to know you can get more of the King favorites by getting Alveda's cookbook. It's called Gigi's Home for the Holiday Cookbook. You might want to borrow that like I do. Gorgeous Grandma.
Gorgeous Grandma.
It's available as an ebook through Amazon. Thank you.
Thank you.
What fun. What fun. Make your Christmas more special. Get a hold of Gigi's Home for the Holidays cookbook. Alveda, you're a treasure.
Thank you. You are too. All right, Gigi to Gigi.